Hi, welcome back to another Creative Evolution with me, Tammy Collins. It's nice to see you again. It's been a while, and I'll talk about that later. But here's a sneak peek at what we're working with this video. This is a jelly plate exploration inspired by fire. And during that process, which you'll see here, I made a series of sheets, and then a couple of them spoke to me, and I turned them into these two pieces. We'll do a part 2 that goes over those. Okay, so we're starting out with just getting warmed up by doing a uh, roll of this yellow color that I'm just going to make a few backgrounds. What's happening here is I'm really just getting warmed up. I'm just trying to get my creative juices flowing. I think sometimes that's the hardest part for people is where to begin, what to do, and how to just get going. So this is what I do. I just pick some colors that speak to me. I wanted to do something that was sort of inspired by fire for another project that I'm working on, and so I pulled colors that made me think of fire. And now I'm just kind of rolling them out, getting the plate warmed up, getting myself warmed up, seeing how the colors move on the plate, and just having some fun with that. I'm not really trying to actually create anything here. I have to apologize. I don't know what it is about this camera, but every once in a while it just tries to refocus and it struggles a bit. You'll have to forgive me. So now I'm going to get crazy and start mixing some colors, and I'm putting in some orange and some reds and some pink, vibrant pinks, all types of colors that make me think of fire. And, I do appreciate you if you're here and you're watching. This is not meant to be anything formal or fancy. It's really just strictly, I'm just sharing my creative exploration. I love to play around with things. I love to figure out what's going on and how things play together. And so that's all I'm doing. And I'm just getting started. And if you've been here for a while and you've watched some of my previous videos, I've been missing a little bit, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But what's happening right here is these are just deli papers that I sort of twisted and wrinkled. I'm trying to kind of create like this, oh, like I don't really like a fractured. That's a good word. I'm trying to create sort of this fractured effect. And I thought that this might work. So I don't know. I'm playing around with this concept and just to see what happens. Okay, so it came out pretty good actually. I actually like this technique. I'd like to explore this technique with some other papers and just do that as a video in and of itself or an exploration all by itself. So I just reuse those papers there just to kind of fill the plate area a little bit more and give it some interest. But I did want to share. I committed to myself. So in my journey as an artist, I spent many years not doing anything, and part of that was a perfectionism issue. It had to be perfect. I had to have the right stuff. I had to have the right space. I had to have the right idea. I had to have the right piece come out of the time that I spent invested in it. And what I realized is that that kept me completely paralyzed. And it was the complete wrong approach. And so now I look at it completely different. I look at it as just a playtime, and I'm just going to play with some colors and techniques and try some new things with no intended outcome whatsoever. And that has completely changed everything for me. And that's why I'm doing these videos, because I want other people to see that it's just about having fun. And that's it. You don't need to have an intended outcome. And so I started on a journey of sharing these videos, and I was very excited about it, and I put out a lot of videos very quickly, and I picked up a decent amount of subscribers fairly quickly as well too. And then it all came to a screeching halt. And it came to a screeching halt because I got breast cancer. And so I was very distracted with that, and wasn't doing any creative exercises at all. And so that's why my videos had stopped for a while. So if you hung around and you didn't unsubscribe from me, I really appreciate you. I understand for others that unsubscribed because they were looking for more regular content, which is totally okay. But anyway, that's what's been going on. I did have to have surgery, and I did have to have some treatments, and as of now, I'm cancer free. So I'm getting back into my creative process. So, okay, so now I'm layering on some colors. I let that dry a little bit, and I'm adding in some other colors, trying to see what I'll get here. And let's just see what happens. I got a lot of really cool pulls from this. That's the other interesting thing about the jelly plate, which, by the way, the jelly plate is really new to me. I've wanted one for a very long time, and I finally got one, and I'm loving it. I'm so disappointed I didn't get one sooner, but I'm loving it, and what I'm realizing is that when I do this now in this process, um, my goal is just to create background papers for other things and other projects. And in that process of playing around, I usually get anywhere from 1 to 4 pieces that I'm really surprised by the outcome, and they really motivate me to turn them into something else and incorporate some other styles that I really love, which I did in this particular series of playing. And I will probably upload a second video uh, that goes into that um, extension of this process. I don't want the video to be too long. So if you're interested in seeing how it played out and what I did with these sheets, I will put that link in the notes for you. Now, because I'm new to the jelly plate world, I get all kinds of conflicting information. You know, people want you to dry it, wait for it to dry. I'm super impatient, and I'm tending to not really do that too much. So this is me trying to be patient, wait for it to dry a little bit. So I'm just using some air on it to just help it to just dry for a minute. I have not found that I need to let them sit long to dry. Now, that could be a lot of there could be a lot of different reasons to that. It could be the amount of layers I'm doing, it could be the paper that I'm using, it could be lots of things. Now, see right here in this instance, I guess I could have waited for it to dry. Look at how great. I love how this came out. That feels like fire to me. But I love that there's some stuff left on the plate, because now that's going to look very interesting in the next pool. And so that's one of the really fun things I think about the jelly plate, because it's just literally an exploration. You're just playing around, and you get surprised by things that happen, and I think that's one of my favorite things. In this particular session, I've used a few things. I've used rice paper, I've used wet strength tissue paper, and I've used some deli paper. Uh, just on different pools and different things, just to see what I get. Now, I did make a mistake here of using that on the left side. There is just it's just copy paper, and I'm just trying to sort of use it as a roll off, and I probably shouldn't have used that paper. I've actually seen some great tips where people have a second jelly plate and they use that as the roll off. I think that's genius. I'm definitely going to be getting one of those. And so now I'm kind of figuring out, well, what do I want here? I'm just trying to let it intuitively speak to me. I'm actually cleaning off my brayer because it's gotten a little paper pulls from sitting on the paper, the copy paper, and so I'm using a wet like a baby wipe to clean off the brayer. Okay, so I've really liked what happened with this crinkled deli paper. To me, it really felt like fire, so I'm giving it another go. I've tried some other color combinations, and I want to see where this this goes. And I did hurt my hand there. I was wrangling with the dogs, giving them a bath, and one of them just fights a little too much, and I twisted my hand. It's all good now. Okay, there's me and my very hurry up and try. I absolutely love that piece. I have not that I did not use that one in my in the next stage, but I will come back to that and add a lot of details. I really want to give that one some good attention. Okay, so now I'm just using a piece of deli paper here. I just want to kind of make a quick pull. Um, I think part of me is deliberately pulling while it's wet because I'm trying to extend, I guess, the paint on the plate and give me more than one result. And so I'm putting on this brown here again. I'd love to know if you're watching. Tell me in the comments. Do you use a jelly plate? What is your favorite part about it? And do you watch a lot of videos? And if you watch a lot of videos, can you tell me what you prioritize? Like, do you like a short, fast video? Do you like it's just a quick 20-minute? Here it is. This is what I did. Here's the outcome. Or do you like it to be more of a like more like you feel like you're in a creative session and you're seeing every boring detail? You know what I mean? Like I was wiping off the brayer. Does that make you feel more connected to the video? I'm really curious to know what you like about watching these types of videos, and which ones you resonate the most with, when they're short and to the point, or when they're a little bit longer and feel like you're sitting here with me kind of in the studio seeing all the details. I'd love to know that because I would love to do more content, and I want to speak more to you as the audience. And I've got a hunch that you want them a little shorter. So this video is going to be shorter, but I didn't really pull out some of those details. The reason I ask is because it comes down to editing and how much time's involved in the editing and how I can better record and streamline a little bit. I'm going to do the creation process anyway. For me to just record what I'm doing is really no big deal. To come back and do a little bit of editing, I like to come back and do the voiceover because I can't really talk while I'm doing it. It's very distracting to me for my creativity experiment. I can't focus if I'm trying to talk about what I'm doing. And so I feel like when I come back and I talk over the video like I'm doing now, I feel much more connected to you. And I feel like I can provide more insight about the process and what I'm doing. So I'd love feedback, is where I'm getting. That's the point that I'm trying to get to. Give me some feedback. How long, I'd love to know how long you've been doing jelly and how you got introduced to it. I don't know much about the jelly plate history. It's a form of printing, and I don't really know how it came to be. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, so I'm loving this exploration a lot. You'll see later there's a lot of great pieces that come out of this. And I love when there's a mess left on the plate because I really love a grungy effect. And I feel like as I keep moving through this process, that gets better and better and better. And it gets a little bit more grungy and a little bit more. And I believe that this is caused by me not waiting for it to fully dry. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's why that's happening. I think that that's what gives it the some of it comes and some of it doesn't affect. I'll have to test that theory a little bit more, but yeah, and I don't recommend copy paper for the roll off. That wasn't going too well. It did give me a bunch of scrap papers with lots of interesting paint patterns and things on them that would be very useful for creating collages and journaling and things of that nature. So they were helpful, but it wasn't very practical in the moment. I don't think. I really love the idea of a second jelly plate. Of course, I would, right? um, but I have just used, deli paper or scrap of another paper on the side to just basically what I'm doing is creating another piece with the roll off paint. And that is absolutely happenstance. You don't have any clue what that will look like when it's done. And that's kind of a neat surprise in itself. Now you can see here, I forget that the camera's on, so I'm almost hitting you with the. So I'm getting a little bit more bold with how much I'm imprinting from that paper. And I really like the effect. I really liked how it does really evoke a sense of fire. Um, which is for a bigger project that I'm working on. Um, yeah, see, that's going to be great. Okay, so I'm taking something I already pulled and doing this on top of it because I didn't think there was enough interest on the piece. I should have showed you that piece first, but it's one that we just did earlier. I didn't think it had enough interest and I wanted to take it on to another level. And so, see, I'm checking to see is it really dry? Is it pulling enough? And yes, it did pull enough. And so basically I was trying to create I'm apologize. I'm not going slow enough to show you the piece in the moment. But we'll get to those. I thought this color combination was really good, and I'm really just using these, affordable Liquitex paints, and I thought they were really good. I can actually give you the colors. Okay, so if you're interested in the colors, it was burnt umber, crimson, yellow deep, vermilion, and primary red. Okay, this is such an amazing texture. It came in a package, like a mail package, as a space filler, and I can't even really explain what it is. It's plastic sheet with these hexagon shapes, but also has bubbles on it. It's very strange. But I was very excited to play around with it, so I thought I'd use it here. So this is me just sort of going, well, what happens when I do this? And then I was taking some of the excess paint off. Now, I think I made a mistake here with this color. This wasn't really the right color for that move. It wasn't enough of a contrast. Um, but that's the lesson that you learn from playing. I probably should have actually used black or white. Um, and so now I'm using the other side of this because the other side is more hexagonal, like hexagon shaped, like a honeycomb. Um, and that's where I got really excited. It's very subtle. You almost can't see it there in the camera, but it made a cool print. And had I done a better contrast color, it would have even looked better. I probably should have did black. Okay, I don't know if you're going to be happy or not, but I just decided to extend this video instead of recording a second video. Because I realized that in my effort to keep it shorter, the build to of excitement of what we're creating here gets lost. So I just added in the second video here. So we're going to continue on, and you're going to get to see all of these sheets at the end, and how this all came out, and okay. Again, this is my sorry attempt to wait for it to dry. Now, I have heard you're supposed to use cool air. This is actually a heat gun that probably could be making a difference. I'll bet it is. I'm not really using it other than just a little bit of air. There's that piece. Um, it's okay. I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but and now my thing, you see it stuck paper on there, and I just went ahead with it anyway, figured, oh, it'll give it a great texture. Um, okay, so there's one pool. It was a test pool for the honeycombs, and now I'm deciding to see if I can give it another background. I just tried to keep it super thin. And there we are with that yummy grunge effect left on the bottom. And so this is where I started to get like excited because I'm getting into some interesting pools. So at this point, I've been doing it. This is live. I didn't really shorten it or edit this in any way. So this is real time. We're in about 24 minutes, and this is exactly how long it took me to do all of this. um, so now I'm getting a feel for some of the materials I'm using, and how they react, and what we want to have happen. I'm also getting very annoyed with that paper on the side, and I'm trying not to do anything. I don't want to disrupt because I know I'm recording, right? So what I did here is I realized that I would like to put this technique and this effect in a darker color on top of a lighter pool that I had done already. So see, there's a just it just has color. And so there, see how that became very interesting? Okay, so here's where I added in so that you could get a better feel for everything that we created in this session. I think this is important to show, so I'm just going to look at this. I absolutely love this piece. I have not touched it yet, but I'm so excited to do something with that one. This piece is pretty interesting as well. I would like a little more contrast in the colors. This is a great piece. This is a good piece. These are all pieces for something else, right? I love this colorway and the way this piece came out. I love this one. This is fantastic. Okay, so this one's, you know, didn't come out so great, right? It's a little too dark. And this one, I was trying something with not like sort of skip rolling. It's interesting layer, but I think we should come back and do something on top of that. That's just testing the technique. This, I actually really like this piece too. Again, I'm making these all for incorporation into other things. And the couple that are my favorites, I really love the way these pieces came out here. I love those. And this is an interesting piece that will work beautifully in something else. And so what I like to do is kind of take all of these and sort of create almost like an accordion style, just kind of showing all of the pieces together. I think in and of itself, that's really interesting. It's almost like it would be worth it to take a size of a strip, maybe a 2-inch strip or 1-inch strip, and just take a strip of each piece and put them together in a piece of art or collage. Just like that would be really cool. And that's kind of what I'm doing here, is just sort of trying to be inspired by what did I create, what does it look like, and the interesting thing is that I think they look the best as a grouping. Some of them are stronger on their own or will be really good as a complement in another piece. But interestingly enough, as you put these all sort of together like this, it's very interesting. I like the way that effect looks. And so it can kind of give you a really good idea of how pieces of this would come together in a collage. And maybe that's a great video to make another time. I did pull a couple of pieces out of this and make other art, which I will show you. I believe you're going to see some of that here. So I just love the way that this looks together like this. I've taken this image and actually cropped it, and it looks really cool. I almost feel like it just needs to be a piece of art in and of itself, which that's a separate video. But I wanted to show you some things that I was inspired to do from some of these pages. And these photo images aren't the best, but these are actually really stunning looking pieces. I didn't take them in a professional photo quality way. I just sort of grabbed snapshots with my phone. But the one on the left is sort of, I love this freeform mark making. It kind of feels like pebbles, and it's just kind of fun and interesting to look at. And then the one on the right is more of a fire inspired, that has this really cool glue. I used hot glue to make those gold pieces and then painted them. And so that's where I ended up with these. I'm really glad that you came by, and please have fun, create and explore, and come back and see me again. Have a great day.